What's happening, people? My name is Robbie and it's Monday, so we are doing another reaction video. Today we're looking at a video from Erik Conover, who is becoming pretty well known for his apartment tours in New York, among some other business content. And this morning one of his videos caught my eye. The video was titled, "Inside the smallest apartment in New York City, 60 square foot micro studio." How big is 60 square foot? And how much does 60 square foot cost? I'm hoping he tells us the price, and I'm going to make a guess that this micro studio is going to be valued at $500,000 to $600,000 if it's in Manhattan. And I'm also very curious how someone would live in a 60 square foot apartment. I would imagine there's a lot of contraptions that you need to use, like a bed that folds up into the wall, maybe a desk that pulls down from the wall, and your kitchen is probably so close to your bed that you're essentially sleeping in the kitchen. So that'll be interesting to see. But before we start this video, you know the drill. I need you to like this video and hit the subscribe button. This really helps grow the channel, and it also lets me know what things you like to see and what things you don't, so I can cater the videos to what you like to see. And now we've got the boring stuff out of the way, let's get into it.
This is officially the smallest apartment in all of New York City.
Bunk bed, straight away, bunk bed. Didn't consider a bunk bed. I had one of those when I was 12. I don't think I would want one as an adult.
A lot of you watching this know me as the guy who creates travel guides to exotic places around the world. The guy who did a workout with Thor, and of course the guy who tours luxury apartments around New York City. But not many people watching know that back in 2015, when I started this YouTube channel, I was living in a 250 square foot studio apartment with an ex-girlfriend at the time. That's two people living in a space the size of most walk-in closets. It's important to lay this backstory because when I first moved to New York City, I was broke. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I had a ton of student loan debt. So living in that tiny apartment was my only real option to be in one of the only cities in the entire world where you can move here with absolutely nothing, not knowing a single person, and make your dreams come true. So this vlog is a special one as someone who's spent 2 years of their life living in a shoebox New York City apartment. And if you follow my Instagram, you know I recently moved into a 2,000 plus square foot loft, which I'll be touring in the next episode. But it's very safe to say I have the perspective of what it's like to live in these places we're about to tour in today's episode.
There he is.
Did I ruin your shot?
The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Cash Jordan.
So if you don't know, Cash is one of the top rental agents in the entire city. This guy has toured how many apartments? You said 250
Oh,
right
geez.
now?
So I've made over 250 apartment tours on my channel, but they're not as nice as his tours.
As you know, I mentioned I've lived in a 250 square foot apartment. This is kind of going back like a blast from the past. Let's see, we're at the first place. And like I said, these apartments are only going to get smaller. The final one might be the smallest one in the entire city.
And they're all smaller than what you just mentioned. None of these are 200 square feet. No, forget that.
So I've skipped through some of the video because Erik actually shows 3 apartments in this video, and I want to see the smallest. I want to see the smallest one in New York City. That's all I care about. Show me that tiny apartment. So I've skipped forward. I believe this is now where he's going to show us the smallest apartment in New York City, so we can crack on again.
Took a little hiatus. We picked up another member of the apartment hunting squad, and we're seeing, this is it.
This is it. And you know what's funny is we have another member with us, and this is the smallest place.
And you said it's pet friendly.
It is pet friendly, so St. Mark's Place, fun neighborhood, right by, you know, New York University as well, since it kind of takes over downtown, but definitely an awesome block, lots of restaurants.
This is it.
This is it.
14 St. Mark's.
That's right.
Theo's excited. Look at this dog. He's just like foaming and chomping at the bit to get in. Let's go, Theo. Come on. Not bad. This is actually a pretty impressive entryway.
So this is the nicest building that we've been to so far.
Diego's gonna go in there and film our reactions to seeing this, but don't say anything when you get in there. I wanna have the reaction. You good to go in?
No, let him get in position. Get as far back as you can. All right, you ready? All right, let's do this.
Oh my god.
This can't be legal. This is it?
This is it, man.
What?
That's a cupboard. That is a cupboard.
What?
We're home.
What is the square footage of this? This is...
Let me get the tool.
There's a bunk bed here without the bottom bunk. We've got a loft going on. A sink. I guess this is the Is there a bathroom?
It's out in the hallway.
Oh my...
So there you go, there's my question answered. There is no real kitchen, and the bathroom is not even in the apartment. It's in the hall.
My gosh.
The hallway bathrooms. Okay.
I don't know what to say. You could never live here with a dog.
That's what I'm thinking. People do it.
It was a tiny dog, but could you imagine this dog living in here? The door almost hits the sink. And this is your, I mean, this is the kitchen. You have a little mirror here, medicine cabinet, this tiny sink with storage underneath, mini fridge, microwave. Comes with a TV at least. We have the bunk bed, which is pretty awesome, good use of space.
True.
The loft above, some nice shelving, closet, two fluorescent lights.
From your high school gymnasium.
Wow. Just for some perspective, I wanted a shot of myself and Theo in the frame.
There's plug sockets in that loft mezzanine above the door. What is that for? Do you put a yoga mat up there and use it as a second bed? Do you get a flatmate and two of you live in there? Probably not.
I can actually go and put my arm almost across the entirety of this apartment. This is 6'8" wingspan, so this is probably just under 7 feet. Cash is gonna take some measurements, but also check this out. This is just a reality of living in a place like this. If you're a tall person, just...
Why have we not acknowledged the fact that your only window to your bedroom, kitchen, and your whole apartment looks onto someone else's window? You open your curtains and there's someone else at the other side of the window. That must be 6 feet away.
I mentioned in the last place having that natural sunlight. This is a true alleyway view. There's a little light. We're on the top floor, but you look down, it's just nothing but brick.
It's great if you have no...
That also looks like people have been throwing rubbish down there. So the inside of that little area at the bottom of the windows, it doesn't look like there's access to that other than through the ground floor. And it just looked like it was full of rubbish. Empty plastic bottles and takeaway wrappers and things like that.
Friends yet. If you're still working on friends, if you don't have them yet, this save you some money.
What does this place go for?
So right now these are between $10.95 and $11.95.
And these rent, right?
Yeah.
People rent these.
$1,100 a month. $1,100 a month for a cupboard. What is that in pounds? That's £795 per month. I've just bought a new house and I'll be moving in towards the tail end of this year. It's a 3-bed, it has a garden, driveway, all the usual things that come with a 3-bed house. The mortgage is less than that. Granted, I don't live in Manhattan, but for £780 odd for that, I don't think I want to live in Manhattan anymore actually.
The fact there's people willing to pay $1,100 a month. I mean, this is smaller than a college dorm.
Do you want to know something crazy that I didn't tell you about this apartment? I lived in this exact unit in 2007. This exact unit, I lived here. And I had like all this stuff, I tried to move in, and none of it fit, so I had to throw away half my furniture. And at the end of the day, I had the bed, which was up, and I had like a little futon, which is where he's standing over by the window. My clothes, I had enough, like a slim enough wardrobe that it did fit in the closet. Like I was like 22, I just wanted to be in the city.
But you made it work.
I made it work.
So if you're watching this and you're looking to move to the city, it is definitely possible. Don't say the rent's too high, excuses. If you want to move here bad enough and you have that dream, it's right here. Contact Cash. All the places that we've shown in this video, Cash is actually renting out, so they're all down below in the description, along with Cash's contact information. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, go subscribe to Cash. He is the rental guru here in New York City. Anything rentals, this guy can help you out there. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.
So Erik has just made the point that there are obviously a lot of people who want to move to New York to start a new career or just a new life, but it's so expensive to live there. And he's just said that it is possible and you don't need to complain about the rent. 14.5 grand a year in rent for a cupboard without a toilet. You have to leave your apartment to go to the toilet. I would absolutely be complaining about the cost of rent. So I've just mentioned that I bought a new house this year and I'll be moving towards the tail end of this year. Obviously I had to put down a deposit to get the mortgage, but the monthly mortgage payment is less than this tiny apartment in New York, and I'm getting 3 bedrooms, an ensuite bathroom, a main bathroom, a downstairs toilet, 2-car driveway, a garden. I'm a 5-minute walk away from the train station to take me to Glasgow or Edinburgh, and someone's going to pay more to live in a cupboard in New York. I mentioned in a previous video before that I would love to move to New York. I've changed my mind. There is no way I would move to New York and spend $14,000 a year on rent for that. I don't know what kind of job you would need to have to be able to afford to live there in New York, including all your bills and things like that. Can a barista at Starbucks live there? Do you need to be working full time at a bank? I've got no idea. But $1,100 for a cupboard doesn't sit right with me. And obviously this reaction clip has only been 5 or 6 minutes long because there's only so much you can show of a room that if you put a fisheye lens on your camera you can see the whole room. The room I'm sitting in just now is bigger than that whole apartment, and it's not a particularly big room. It's a completely normal sized room. It's so small I don't even really know what else to say about it. Typically in New York people like to pay for the views. You'll pay more the higher up in a building you are, so you can get a better view. If you're on Central Park you're paying top dollar, for example. There should be a discount here because you're looking through your window into someone else's window. That is my final point on this apartment. You should be able to see the sky when you look out your window, or a road or a pathway or something other than someone else's bedroom. Bizarre. And people pay it. People live there. Someone will move in there in the next month, I would guess. That is absolutely crazy. Let's get a look at the comments and see who else has the same opinions as me. Surely there are people in the comments that agree with my opinion this time. Surely. Did anyone else feel uncomfortable watching the last apartment? I'm actually amazed that this is even legal. I'd rather live in a forest. That's true. How is that legal? The room is 7 feet wide. Is that legal? I don't think that would be legal in Britain. I don't think. Maybe it is. Maybe that exists here. I don't know. This is way more interesting than luxury apartment tours, to be honest. I think he may be right in the short term, but I think if Erik made videos like this every week, the views would start to dip, because in my opinion it is much less interesting to see one tiny little room that you can spin in a circle and see the whole place than a $10 million penthouse in Soho, for example. But let me know in the comments, would you like me to react to tiny apartments or huge apartments? Or do you not want me to react to any apartments? Do you find that boring? Let me know. Even the dog is staring at the door like, get me out of here. Of course he is, he's massive. I wouldn't take my dog to an apartment that size, and he's this small. So there is no chance that you could have a large dog in an apartment like that. If it gets you into New York and living the dream here, you gotta do what you gotta do. Is that the case though? Is that the case? Could you live within an hour on the train from New York and still live the dream and get a semi-decent sized apartment for the same price? You can still work in New York, you can still make a New York salary, but live slightly out the way and actually maybe have some sort of quality of life. Maybe not. I suppose it's just the price you pay if you want to be in the centre of one of the greatest cities in the world. I think some prison cells are more desirable than these places. I mean, you could argue that some prison cells are nicer than that last apartment. Prison cells have toilets in them. You don't need to leave your cell to go to the toilet. If you live in this apartment, you need to leave your apartment to go to the bathroom or a shower. I didn't even consider that. Where do you shower? There must be a communal shower area as well. I would honestly rather shower at the gym than use a communal shower in my building and see all my neighbours in and out of the shower. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Let me know in the comments below, would you live in that tiny apartment? And be honest, are the dazzling lights of New York enough to make you live in an apartment that small? I don't think I could do it. I really don't. And I actually think that this mindset of it's worth it to live in New York is actually a little bit dangerous. Just use a little bit of common sense and logic. Move 5 miles away and you'll get considerably more for the same price. Move 10 miles away, even more. You're still close enough to have that New York lifestyle. You can travel into the city in the morning, you can be there all day, travel home, and still live in your larger apartment, but spend all day in New York just like if you lived central. It absolutely boggles my mind that someone is charging $1,100 per month for that cupboard, and it boggles my mind even more that people will pay that. I would be very curious to find out how much the apartment is actually worth. I wonder if there's some way that I can invest in a cupboard in New York and rent it out for $1,100, because if people are living in it, I would do it. Okay folks, that'll do it today for the tiny cupboards in Manhattan. One thing I will say is I really do like Erik Conover's videos. I like the way that he films them, I like the way that they're edited and put together, but from now on I think I'll stick to the penthouse tours and the luxury apartment tours, because the 7 foot wide cupboard that they're calling an apartment just doesn't do it for me. But let me know in the comments, Would you live in an apartment like that if you got to live in central Manhattan? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and I will see you on Friday.